Hello everyone. The Doctor Who fandom is filled with negativity. Ncuti has left the show. We know nothing particularly about the future of the mainstream show. But we do have beautiful things to look forward to on the horizon. Some fantastic Jodie Whittaker Big Finish episodes, some more Big Finish stuff, and presumably other bits of extended media are coming out. And most importantly, televised Doctor Who. The War Between the Land and Sea. It's a spin-off of Doctor Who, if you didn't know. And I'm going to stop this. Why have you done that? Who do you think you are, Nerdy Brit? Who do you think you are? Yeah, lads, The War Between the Land and Sea is coming out. We think late this year, but it could be early next year. I don't know, but boy, am I excited. And today, because I want to spread some negativity, instead of making a 54th video about leaks or the future of the show, as I and some other YouTubers are kind of forced to do in, like, these wilderness years. Like, are any of you football fans? Because, you know, these periods for this channel feel like what I'd call the international break in football, or, you know, just like the summer holidays where you're a bit like, got no football to watch, so, you know, I've just got nothing to do. That's us Doctor Who fans right now. We are ravenous for a bit of good content, and I think The War Between the Land and Sea is definitely going to be that. I think it's going to be great. And here, the bloody hell, is why. Russel T Davies is a much maligned man. His main show stuff, especially his finales, for some people, are not working. However, we need to, well, personally, to a certain extent, I think we need to stop judging Russel T Davies by his content from 2005. Every person, as Matt Smith said himself in his 11th Doctor regeneration speech, people grow and change. We are all different people all throughout our lives. And that's okay. And that's good. I can't remember any more of the speech. I love that speech though. It's so good. Such a good regeneration. Matt Smith into Peter Capaldi is the best regeneration. BT dubs. But what I think we should judge Russel on is his more recent stuff. And no, I'm not talking about insulting his latest run of Doctor Who. I quite enjoy it. Some people don't. That's fine. You enjoy what you want to enjoy, Kiddywinkles. But can I just remind you of some of the other stuff that he has released recently? Years and Years, and It's a Sin. Now, if you don't know, those are just two quite British, very well acclaimed TV series that Russel T Davies has made very, very recently. You know, people might forget it because of Doctor Who, but those series are pretty universally beloved and are seen as fantastic pieces of content. But James, how does this link back between The War Between the Land and Sea, more commonly known as TWBTLAS? He's done the acronym, baby! Now say it fast. I can't. Well, because it's following a similar-ish formula. Yes, it's set within the Doctor Who universe, with, you know, these pre-established characters, but it is more along the lines of a Years and Years and an It's a Sin, in terms of, like, episode count and, like, dealing with serious themes. For example, if you don't know, Years and Years is a thoroughly interesting look at politics and how it can just screw people over. And Years is just a look into some beautiful yet harrowing moments in history for the gay community. And The War Between the Land and Sea, from what it looks like, seems to be taking on the environmental theme. And yes, look, we've all seen things like Orphan 55 where the Whoniverse really cannot do an environmental message. I get that. And that does make me slightly nervous. But if we can get a series of that quality in the Whoniverse, that's gonna be great. That's my whole point. Pete McTeague is also a writer on this show, and I really, really like a lot of his Doctor Who work. He's done a lot of work on, like, the expanded media. A lot of that stuff is great. And he's also worked on things like Kablam, and I really enjoy Kablam personally, and I think Lucky Day, which he worked on very recently, is a stupendously great episode. I really, really like Lucky Day. So I think his writing and Russel T's writing together is great. I genuinely, and this is controversial, because yes, I would like more diverse voices behind Who overall, but if you're talking about someone who's currently giving stuff to the Whoniverse, or has previously, that you'd like to become a future showrunner, Pete McTeague is a great shout.
Another great thing about TWB, the TLAS. I'll stop doing that acronym bit now, it's not funny.
Another good thing about The War Between the Land and Sea is that it will give even more screen time to our beloved unit crew. Now, some people have criticised the recent finales of Doctor Who for, shoehorning the unit characters in there without giving them much development. So that I'd say, how much development do you want these unit characters to get? It's a finale, the focus is going to be on the finale, it's just fun to see these characters. That's what a team-up has always been, it's always just been fun to see characters. That's why the Avengers works. But away from the Doctor and giving these characters more focus and more screen time, I'm excited to see them here get some more development that they really, really deserve. And let's be honest, this is the first time that Kate Stewart will be at the forefront. Colonel Ibrahim, just these some great unit characters that really deserve the, the front of the screen. And I'm really excited to let them have that moment to shine. Another look at Sea Devil stuff is also going to be very interesting. The Silurian and Sea Devil-y world of, like the Third Doctor kind of vibes is great, and I think there's some fantastic characters. I think some interesting stuff was done with the 11th Doctor and the Sea Devils, no, Silurian, sorry, and I think the 13th Doctor and the Sea Devils, the less said about that, the better. But those characters are really interesting, and if this series gives us the cool factor of what classic Who did with the Silurians and Sea Devils. I know it's just Sea Devils, but to me the Silurians and Sea Devils are very linked, hence why those conversations come together. And that's especially relevant when obviously this is Sea Devils we're dealing with, but the Silurian war brokery vibe that we get in that 11th Doctor two-parter in Series 5. Human cold blood, human something or other? It's called something like that. I don't remember names, but I remember faces. Yeah, that vibe, but with Sea Devils, given the proper depth, I just think this series is going to be really, really good. And I think it could prove the future of Doctor Who going forward, where, you can kind of get away with having some more sillier stories in Doctor Who, because some of the spin-offs can just create, almost just like the BBC do sometimes, just some really good dramas about the important issues the world is facing today, but told through a Doctor Who lens, but still just having those beautiful stakes and emotions at the forefront. Wow, that would just be incredible. That's what I'm rooting for. Anyway, I always tend to record these videos at it's close to 9 PM. You can start to see, you're starting to see my shadow. We're losing light, lads. What do you think? How good do you think The War Between the Land and Sea is? I am so bloody rooting for it. I know it's going to be great, but what do you think? Let me know your theories, your thoughts. Let me know what videos you want me to make. I'm really churning out some top quality videos at the moment, mate. So please, drop below what you'd like to see. Apart from that, I double salute it there. Like, subscribe. See you soon.